my goodness. Hello, Norwalk High. I have to tell you, it is so nice to be back in my old school. There are so many things have changed since I've been here, but this area here has not changed very much. I don't know if you guys know this, but I was involved in every musical from 9th grade through 12th grade and involved in the band, yeah. And I'm happy to hear that our band is still awesome, still number one. We were no joke back in the day. But I have to tell you, I knew that when I became a member of Congress, I needed to come back here and speak to you because this high school had a lot to do with who I am today. And so I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that. But let me give you a little bit of background. I am the daughter of parents who immigrated from Haiti in the 70s. I can see there's some Haitians in here. Yeah, I can tell. They're like all right. They immigrated in the 70s, and my parents worked hard for everything that they had. My parents, when they dropped me off at college, they said, you know what, Mia, we've done everything we could to get you here today. We have worked hard. Mom and Dad have worked hard. You are not going to be a burden to society. You will give back. And I have spent a lot of my life trying to do exactly that, trying to give back to the community. But it didn't come without some good foundation. I remember my dad, I'm the youngest, so naturally the favorite. My dad would ask me, I would say, Dad, I want this for school, or I want this, or I want that, and he would make me write out why I needed that thing that I asked for. I mean, what dad does that, really? So anyway, I would ask for it, I'd write down and tell him why I needed it, and if he decided that it was a good thing, then he'd say, okay, you can have it, and then he would say, well, we're gonna have to make you pay for half of that, though. I mean, do your parents do that to you right now, or do they just get you stuff? Yeah. Yes? Okay, that's, for some of you who say yes, I know it seems like a pain in the butt now, but trust me, it'll turn out great later. My mom was different. She would make us experiment in the kitchen. My mom's a great cook. She's an amazing cook. She would say, go cook in the kitchen. I remember I made something that kind of looked like a cobbler. It wasn't really a cobbler, whatever. It kind of looked like a cobbler. Anyway, it bubbled over and there was a sticky mess at the bottom of the oven. So every time they turned on the oven, it would smoke out the kitchen and everybody would have to leave. Well, fast forward, my mom teaching me lessons, my dad teaching me lessons. I'm at home with my 3 kids and my husband, and I see my mom putting a lasagna in the oven. And I run over and I grab the lasagna. I grab a cookie sheet, put aluminum foil down, nice and neat, put the lasagna on the cookie sheet, stick it back in the oven. And my mom was like, what are you doing? I said, Mom, it might bubble over. And she said, do you remember what you did to my oven? I said, yes, but I paid for this oven. And she said, oh, now you see why I made you pay for half of the things that you bought, because we knew that if you paid for it, if you worked for it, you would have some skin in the game and you would take care of it. I want you to know that right now is the time that you are building your foundation. Right now is the time that you are paying your way through. You are working hard, you're trying to get great grades, right? So that you can get into a good school. And I'm telling you, it pays off. I don't know if any of you know Jeffrey Smith, who was the director of the band. Let me say, he wasn't a mushy guy. He wasn't a teddy bear at all. But he was probably one of the most influential people in my life. There was one time where I was the captain of the color guard my senior year, and I think I had a crush on every single person on the drum line at the time. And yeah, those of you who are on the drum line, watch out. So we had these big skirts and these big dowels on the skirts just to kind of do the whole dancing thing. And I remember my friend Jackie Kelly, who was Jacqueline Aaron's brother, was also, we had all these friends in the band. Anyway, I got in trouble and I had to start taking laps around the parking lot. At that time, we practiced at Andrews Field. Yeah, that parking lot there, many memories. But I was running around and I tripped on the dowel right in front of the drum line. And I stood up and they all were laughing hard. And you think your life is over, but it isn't. I mean, they get over these things. So you're going to have some embarrassing moment. No one is going to remember but you, okay? Just get over it, move on. No one will remember. It didn't stop me from getting dates. It's perfectly fine. So I have lots of memories from being here at the high school. I want you to know that you're going to have opportunities. Winston Churchill said, there comes a time where each and every one of us is figuratively tapped on the shoulder and asked to do something special, particular to your talents. What a shame if that moment finds you unwilling or unprepared for what could be your finest hour. There are going to be opportunities that you're going to have to do something special. What I mean by that is that it is your job to do what you can to be independent, to be able to take care of yourself so that you can take care of a family. And when you can take care of a family, you can take care of a community. When you can take care of a community, you can take care of your city, then your state, then your country, then the world. It is not enough for the world to revolve around us. We have got to leave our mark. It is not okay for us to be a burden to society. We have to give back. And here's another thing I'm going to ask you. Please, please, do not let anyone ever tell you that this country is less than exceptional. We live in the greatest country in the world. We live in the greatest country in the world. And it's not just because of the people, and it's not just because of the beauties of the landscape. It is because we are free. And if we are not actively moving towards freedom, then we're actively moving against it. So what I mean by that is every single one of you have an obligation to make sure you preserve that thing that makes our country great, and that is freedom. I want you to know that I am doing this job not because of me. I mean, it is hard at times, it's fun at times, but I have a great life. I have an incredible husband who's with me today. Jason, do you want to stand up? Yeah, Jason. Oh, so funny. I have an incredible husband and 3 children. 15, 12, and 8. And I do this job for you. I do it for you because I believe that you deserve every opportunity to be as ordinary or as extraordinary as you choose to be. You still can do anything you want to. You work hard enough. Anything is possible. You want to know why? You want to know why? I'm an example of it. My parents came here with $10 in their pocket, and they raised 3 children, and one became a representative in the United States Congress. So, broaden your horizon, work hard, build a firm foundation. Don't get mad at your parents if they make you do things or work hard or make you pay for half of the things that you buy. It'll end up paying off at the end. Make sure that when you grow up, you look at the world around you and you say, how can I make it better? With that being said, I want you to know that I pray for you. May God bless you. May God bless this great United States of America. Thank you.
Hi, how are you?
How are you?
I'm great. I just wanted to know how and when.
Tell me your name first.
Oh, I'm Erica Rosendahl. I'm a junior here.
Okay, Erica.
How and when did you first become interested in politics?
Okay, this is certainly not something I said I wanted to do when I grow up. I mean, ask Jackie, right? We never talk about politics ever. How did I become involved? Well, an opportunity came where I was doing some things in my neighborhood. I was working to kind of get some things resolved in my neighborhood, mainly bugs that were flying around the neighborhood, and they're like, Mia, figure that out, take care of that. And I ended up having the developer get all of this equipment to spray. Anyway, later on they said, oh, you can get things done, go and run for city council. And so I ran for city council, ended up taking our city from the brink of bankruptcy to being financially stable. And then they said, run for mayor. We know where the pitfalls are, and our city now is the fastest growing city. It was named #1 in the state of Utah for affordability and livability. And so that's how I ended up, I keep getting recruited to do things. And so that's what I mean by making sure that you take opportunities to make the world better. It's not just about you, it's about what you can do. One thing I wanted to tell you with that question too is if you are not getting involved, if you are not making your voice heard, if you are not making decisions, then you run the risk of someone inferior to you making those decisions for you. So it's important for you to make sure that you are an active participant in our electoral process. So
Thank you so much.
Hello.
Hello.
I am Skylar Singer. I am a junior here. And I wanted to ask about your political role models, who they are and why.
Political role models. You know, that one is always a tough one for me because it's usually not the people in Washington that are my role models. People that are my role models are my parents, my husband, who is sitting right there. Jason, wave at everyone. Jason, you continue to get a lot of applause. My children are my role models, but if I had to pick one person that was a good role model, I would pick Ronald Reagan. Not because of any party affiliations, but because he was incredibly inspirational. He reminded people how great this country is, and he wanted people to do better. He said we are better than our current situation, and he inspired people to do hard things to achieve quite a bit. I mean, think about ending the Cold War, bringing that wall down. He was incredible, and so I love people who are inspirational, and he was exactly that. So if I had to pick somebody from Washington, it would be that, it would be him. But I'm telling you, my heroes are pretty much the unsung heroes. They're the moms out there that are working hard every day. They're the students that are sitting there, you know, taking tests and working as hard as they possibly can, and all they want is an opportunity to do great things. So those are the people I do this for.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Inez.
Tell me your name again.
Inez.
Inez?
Also a junior at Norwalk High School. I just wanted to know, what are some current pieces of legislation you support in Congress or that you're part of?
Okay, so I've been in for about 120 days, a little bit more. I just introduced my first piece of legislation. I am on the, I'm very excited about it, yes, you can clap. So this will take a little bit, but I just dropped a piece of legislation. It's the student's right to know before you go act. What it does is it has the Department of Education disclose all of the information that students and parents need to have in order to make an informed decision about which colleges to go to. Most of us will make a decision about which colleges have the best reputation or go into the fields that you like, but we don't know what the outcomes really are. We're going to have them disclose what the outcomes. In other words, how many people have actually, how much student loans have they had to take out, how many have actually graduated, how many dropped out in the first, second, third year, what the job placement is like, if they've been able to find jobs, how much they've been able to make. So, if you go to a school and you realize, you're looking at certain schools and you realize that one school has great outcomes and another one doesn't, it helps us make an informed decision, thereby adding some competition and bringing the cost of tuition down. Schools are way too expensive these days, and it's making it impossible for middle to low income families to afford to go to school. I want to make sure that when you graduate, you're spending your life starting your American dream, then half your life paying somebody back.
Hi, I'm Sean.
Hi, Sean. How are
I'm a
you?
junior here, and I'm in the band too.
All right.
But my question is, what is your ultimate goal in regards to your political career?
What is my ultimate goal in regards to my political career? Again, remember I said this is not something I wanted to do. I just keep getting recruited into this mess, right? But let's talk about success here. I can measure success by the more I get the decision making into your hands, the better. If I can get Washington smaller and make people bigger, then I've been successful in my job. I think that it's time for us, the American people, to be trusted again with our own lives instead of having Washington make every single decision for us, because I think that we are smart enough to make decisions in our lives. So.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Alejandro.
Alondra?
I just have one last question.
Okay, one last question. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's the best question.
Okay.
Do you have any advice for someone who wants to run for public office?
Do I have any advice for someone who wants to run for public office? I can give you some advice. That advice would be, it's not about you. I believe that it's important for us to make sure we elect people who aren't really looking at this to make money or to make a career out of this. They're not looking to be somebody, but to do something. This is a service. It's a service that I think every single one of us have to be involved in somehow, some way. And know that it's going to be tough. You're out there in the open, everybody's watching what you do. A lot of things are going to be said about you that are true and some are not true, and you have to have some thick skin. But make sure you know what it is that you're getting into it for, and you'll be focused and grounded that way, and also make sure that you are doing something for somebody else, and keep that in mind. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you guys, appreciate being here. This is a great school. You guys come from great stock. Take opportunities, okay? Thank you.
Let's give her one more round of applause.